Hello friends. So we'll starting with the new series of a new chapter, cloud platforms and framework that are being popular and being used. I am Animesh Chaturvedi. We'll see next first thing, REST API. In the REST API, basically we are having RESTful states like transferring from one state to another state based upon the URI and operations. Then we'll see IaaS hybrid cloud. In this, we'll see orchestration and virtualization. Then we'll see PaaS platform as a service and one special kind that is container as a service. In this, we'll see Google App Engine, Ruby on Rails, Docker Hub. In the SaaS, we'll discuss distributed version control, like for SaaS, Facebook testing, and GitHub and Git LFS. Then we'll see cloud security and privacy policies. How many platforms we'll discuss? Facebook and Akamai working together. We'll discuss Google App Engine, Ruby on Rails type of thing, and Docker's Hub. We'll see Facebook testing, and then we'll see GitHub and LFS type of distributed version control system. So we'll starting with the RESTful web services, which is said to be representational state transfer. What is representational state transfer? It was being defined by and introduced by a doctoral thesis by Raw Fielding in 2000. And what was the principle on which it works? It works on the principle of HTTP object models. And for the use of the uniform resource identifier, means URI, which was pre-existing in 1994. It was being invented, and this URI was being used for HTTP object modeling in the REST. Then the main purpose of this is like web resource handling and web resource management, especially virtual state machines. So user can progress from one state to another state. What was the state? Means resources available on web. What are the resources on the web? Like HTTP pages, HTML pages, or XML sheets, or some JSON. So these are the resources like video, like images. So these are the resources, and the basic operation which on which it works are get and post to transfer from one state to another state. Then resulting of this next resource will take you to the another state of the of that execution and processing of the user. You are at one resource, means suppose HTML page you are at, and when you click at certain thing, certain link, and then you move to the video or some image. This is the means changing of transferring of a state. Then what is web resource? Means in www, web resources were simple document like HTML or document file PDF. So these are being relocated with the help of URL. But in Web 2.0, web resources are like generic abstract entities. So what are these generic abstract entities? Which action they take? So they take based upon the identified name, address, handles, and all these things available on the internet. So many type of web resources came inside the Web 2.0, and URI was being used, or URL also, both could be used. So the request for these type of URI will go, and response will come for that in terms of some payload format, for example HTML, XML, JSON, or other formats like JPG, and video format MP4, all these things, PDF. So these are the responses. And how it goes in terms of request for the URI resource. Then the response give alternate resource state. If the response doesn't work properly, then it have alternate state. And what it does, it provides some hypertext link to the unavailable resource. Means if you ask for an unavailable resource, then an alternate link will be provided to you which are related to that resource. So these are the way in which this RESTful API or web services are being designed. Next, the REST is a kind of software architecture system that actually defines a set of constraints for some web service creation. Means we had already seen SOAP and WSDL based web services. So this is another type of web service which is RESTful web. These kind of web services actually having RESTful architecture, and these are called RESTful web service. And they also provide the interoperability communication between two, three machines together. and it also helps to communicate between server and client with some interoperable operations. Then the RESTful web service also allow requests for the system to access and manipulate some of the textual representation. For example, some web resources in terms of HTML or some JSON, XML. So all these things could be modified based upon the request to access those resources, and then predefined uniform state from one state to another state could be moved on with the help of operations. So there are different type of operations available in the RESTful web services. Next, this is stateless protocol and which doesn't follow fixed states. Means you can define states of a website or a cloud service according to your own convenience. So developer decide state for their own convenience. So there are based upon some standard operations. So what are the standard operations of the REST API are like useful in the HTTP method like get, head, post, put, patch, delete, connect, and options trace are the basic operations which could be used for the REST APIs. Then the availability to grow and reusing all these components are actually being managed and updated without affecting such a system. So with all such way of doing stateless development, so reuse will be very easy. Reusing of that component will be very easy, and updation of that component, that web page or web content like MP4 video, JPG image, and some other JSON file, it's easy. First to modify that, and second to update them, and third to reuse them without affecting the whole system. Then other kind of web service we had already seen like SOAP web services, which expose attributary operations based upon some XML, that is WSDL or XSD type of things. Next, these are the most fundamental and basic RESTful operations. And what are these? These are like get, post, put, patch, and delete. So in the get, you retrieve some of the URI representational resources available in the response body. So you retrieve some resources and you get some representational output with those responses. Then post means you create some of the resources based upon your own choice with request body. So in the request body, you give the instruction for creation of a particular resource, and we are talking in terms of client. Client will create their own resource. For example, we create our Google Class. For example, we create our video and upload that video on the YouTube. For example, we create a photo album in Facebook. So these are like posts, and this URI will be automatically assigned some link that your Facebook album have this link, and you can share that link. Your video on YouTube have this link, and you can share that, and your Google Class has this link. You can share that. So this location will actually be come to you in terms of location header or field, or you can also search in your profile as well. So it will be returned in terms of response location header field, means in the top of the URL that you see in the browser. Then you put something, means replace the existing resource. How you can replace that? You give some instruction in the request body for creation and replacement of the resource, means you create the new resource and then you replace the old resource. Then you have the patch means updation, means replace and update are slightly different. Replace means you create something and then you replace. In updation, you have a existing thing and you want to do modification in that, that is update, and you have the patch for the creation and updation of that resource based upon the instruction that you mention in the request body. Then in the patch, you may also create new resource if it does not exist. Means in patch, you can create and modify the existing resource, both the things. But in put, you just modify the existing resource. You actually delete that resource, means you remove that resource, and that operation would be given in some button or something. The next, web oriented architecture, it's like a software oriented architecture or a service oriented architecture. So there is also a web oriented architecture in which websites, web personal social websites or social networking was there, and SOAP, all these SOA, www, RESTful, anything that comes inside it, it will be said as web oriented architecture. So this is the overall abstract architecture. and this course set were like web protocol like HTTP, and HTTPS would be available to handle the plain XML. And the only difference with this is like SOAP, SOA, and the concept which were being presented. Like the WOA is RESTful, and whereas HTTP is having web services. So SOA is just for SOAP and XML based protocol, but WOA is for the RESTful and HTTP web services. Enterprise level WOA is like sub style of enterprise SOA, and the web oriented architecture is a sub style of SOA. Means WOA is subset of SOA. Means SOA is a larger set of having systems and services working together, and web oriented architecture could be part of it via some web global link hypertext or some hypermedia link for the web architecture. Then emphasis for the generality of the user interface. There's a one important aspect that standard interface and API should be needed for the global networking and communication between the RESTful and web oriented architecture. So there's basically identification of resources which are required and manipulation of the resources through some representational way. So these are the important points that are required for the international standard for user interface and API, identification of resource, manipulation of that resource, self description of that message, hypermedia as the engine, and application neutrality. And all these things are being important for the standardizing that interface or API. So next we'll see IaaS and hybrid cloud in the next class. So today we'll finish here and we'll see next in next class.